Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to EA Tetragrammaton, where we are playing This is turn 181. So let's jump into things. Okay. So as per normal, now we're gonna start going down through the list of events that happened in kind of like segmentation. So first and foremost, we have things like assassinations and remote spells and things like that. We had 4 of these this turn. We had an arrow strike a lich, but he survived. Very nice. We had an earth elemental come out of nowhere and kill a vampire lord, so I'm assuming remote assassination. We had Tartarian 2 be targeted by a mind hunt, but resisted the attack. And then we had a battle on which I think this is the death remote spell, I'm pretty sure. We lost that, but we still have our fortification, so no worries. So yeah, we were 2 for 2 for assassinations and rituals and things like that. As far as horrors go, we only have 2 horror attacks this turn, and both of them are against our god. So we can guess, victory in the first one, but it is against Aegon, the Eater of Dreams. So scary. Let's see how this goes. So he comes in and he does his Shatter Souls, which just obliterates all of our goats. And then we Marble Warriors ourselves, which is kind of like, why did you Marble Warriors, right? Like, if you're gonna do something like that, like, I'm assuming Marble Warriors because he was trying to target all of the goats, but if you're gonna do something like that, why not like Army of Lead or Army of Gold? If you have the gems and it's gonna give you better protection. I don't really understand why the AI chose Army or Marble Warriors in that particular case, but whatever. We get very lucky here, and we get a stun proc off of the Scutata Volturnus. This guy does not have regeneration or lifesteal, or he does have lifesteal. I lie. So he has a life drain attack, so that is dangerous. But if we can keep him stunned and continue to swap him on the occasion. Oof, ow. So he healed a little bit there. And boom, he's gone. So, Aegon defeated. And then we have a second battle. This one, we're going to win. That's against the Gortide Horror. So Gortide Horrors, sometimes we lose, but we tend to have a pretty good ratio against Gortide Horrors. This time around, much better freaking selection of spells. Body Ethereal, Iron Skin, Strength of Gaia, Temper Flesh, Legions of Steel, right? That's pretty good. We paralyze the Gortide. Here's the thing about Gortides, though, is they have a lot of regen, so we have to get 2 really good damages in a rogue. And we did right there. So, victorious. So we are 2-0 against horrors this turn. We have 1 battle against Relay here in Whitewater, as our Tartarian Spirit 2 is just kind of raiding around in here. There's not really much anything here, so just watch him kill some merfolk real fast. Tritons. Pop, pop. Pop, pop. Pretty good. What's his heroic ability? I don't remember. Battle Prowess. Increased attack skill. So +4 off of his attack skill. Interesting. Negating that underwater penalty. Alright, and he wins there. So we are 1-0 against Relay this turn. And then we have a bunch of battles against Lanka, of course, right? So go ahead and flip through these. We'll watch any interesting ones. We've got a battle against Lanka in the Gladewoods, and this is kind of funny. So we just got lucky here. We were moving these Ishibs towards and we intercepted these vampire lords. And 5 vampire lords is going to generate a lot of undead, but 7 Ishibs doing water elementals is going to be pretty rough. I gotta say this is an annoying thing, right? Dominion 6, right? Dominion 6 has got to fix this. There's got to be some improvement in the AI for units to walk around other units, or there has to be some ability for friendly units to push through other units, especially like larger friendly units. Because I've been playing this game for years now at this point, and there are so many examples I've seen of just weird, dumb stuff like this happening. And in this particular case, it doesn't matter, right? But I have had cases where one extra water elemental makes the difference, right? In getting forward into the battle and surviving. So, definitely something that needs to be improved. But as it is this time, we just slaughter a bunch of vampire lords. Very cool. So we win in Gladewood. That's nice. We attack into Fever Fens. Just raiding. We win there. Or counter raiding, basically. We get hit in Titan's Breath, and we actually win against the Lich, which is a little surprising. Basically, it's a combination of this place still having a fair amount of province defense and the good old Gift of Health. Oh, this is another thing, right? Is this script, the Invulnerability Soul Vortex script, is, I think, personally, a bad script to do on a single raiding Lich, right? Because here's the thing. Invulnerability, more often than not, right? Invulnerability 25 is not going to keep you alive. It's definitely not going to keep you alive against a bronze hatchet that hits for 20 or a bronze spear that hits for 18. But even against things that are like, 12 and 13, it's going to be better at that point, sure, but it's still not a guarantee that you don't get popped. And Liches have such low HP that it does not take many hits or a single exploding hit to basically pop you. So invulnerability can be pretty meh a lot of the times, right? And then Soul Vortex really only matters, in my opinion, against like high or with high HP units, right? Because again, if you have low HP, the Soul Vortex isn't going to give you enough time. The caveat being if you're setting up like pseudo reinvigoration batteries, like using trolls and things like that to like they have regen, so you Soul Vortex them, so you steal their life and fatigue, and you replenish your own, so you're like your own mini communion, right? Like, that's super cool. Obviously that's super useful for Soul Vortex, but this is just in this context of like a solo Lich raiding. I think Invulnerability and Soul Vortex are wastes of spells. You could have had 2 hordes of skeletons already out. We could be skeletons could be here meeting this province defense right now. And we'll be honest, like, they probably would lose against this much PD of this much HP with Gift of Health, but not, I mean, the occasional Cloud of Death or something like that in there, this could actually do something. But alternatively, right, like, here's the aside. If you had gear on the Lich, then Soul Vortex could potentially be good. But in that case, invulnerability is not going to be, right? So I think more often than not, if you're going to be raiding around like this, don't cast invulnerability in Soul Vortex. Obviously, there are instances where that is not the case, right? If you're going up against flyers, or if you know that there's a lot of like cavalry or things like that, right? I don't know. It's just, generally speaking, I don't think that and I say this from experiencing it myself. I used invulnerability Soul Vortex a fair amount when I was trying to like raid Hinnom. It just never worked well. Anyways, that's a tangent. I did not have to go on. Anyway, we win in Dragonscale Mountains. We attack into Sinkhole Swamp, and this is kind of interesting. We don't win here, obviously, right? But we send a couple Liches into a stack of undead, and we're going to lose this, but we're going to take gems, right, that we can see. And we actually end up killing a fairly large chunk of the chaff that is here and sacrificing immortals, right, to take away gems and to kill chaff is a pretty good trade at this point in the game, I think. So, that's nice. 5 immortals that are just going to come right back for 140 long dead and some gem usage. I'll take that. The Sinkhole Swamp we lose, but is pretty nice. We lose Assad and Glistening Dew Forest. We get attacked in Troya and lose that. We are hit in Kunaral and Ctesiphon, and we lose both those fights, but we also have fortifications there, so we don't lose the provinces just yet. We get hit in White Peaks by another group of Long Dead. There's a battle in Simri, and this is kind of that counter, right? We are the ones who were caught this time around by the superior force and just annihilated. We attack into Histria, kill a bunch of Marcadas, nice. We attack into Kohnberg and win that. We attack into Pugria, win that. Attack into Greendale, win that. And then we have this battle in Hallwood. So we sent this, we'll watch this. We sent this set of vampires into the Hallwood's army in the hope to kind of do what we did in Sinkhole Swamp, right? Like, not expecting to win, obviously not expecting to win, but hoping that we would cause some damage to their chaff and have gem usage, right? Bait gems out. Now, we've already seen the results screen, so we know we do basically nothing to the chaff here, which is really unfortunate. I was hoping to kill like 50 to 100 of these long dead just to make it a little bit of an easier fight in the fortification. So that's unfortunate. But we did, in fact, use a fair amount of gems. So that's good. There are still gems on the enemy. So this isn't... And Lanka might have some scouts here that have gems as resupply, so there's that. But, wasn't expecting to get much out of it. Hopefully that matters. Just wish we had succeeded in killing some long dead. Unfortunately, we did not. So there's that. And then we are hit in Urfel by a group of long dead intercepts a lich. And that is what it is. So our ratio against Lanka this turn is actually significantly better than it has been the last couple turns. We went 9 and 10 versus Lanka this turn. So that's good, but it's really kind of just a sign of the fact that Lanka has less to raid me. I have less territory, there's less spaces for Lanka to take from me, more places for me to select when I'm striking out. And Lanka is just solidifying forces on more fortifications, so there's less raiding going on, period. Like, take, for example, in Hallwoods, there's 28 immortals here, liches and vampires, attacking in Hallwoods. Here's another Wraith Lord, 29, right? So there's plenty going on there that is kind of this whole... He could be raiding me more, but why? There's nothing to raid, and consolidating his forces now gives him a very decent chance at victory. So our ratio is going up, but take it with a grain of salt. Unexpected events. We gained some money and a Burning Pearl in Titan's Breath Peaks, and we got some misfortune in Realm of Silence. Then we have a whole bunch of sieges all over the place. But it is what it is. So, not a lot of movement this turn. Like I said, we don't have a lot of places. Let me rephrase that. The game is on the edge of Lanka's victory. He has Hallwoods sieged with the fortification broken, with a very large army that we don't have a great option for beating. And then we have a very large army has now moved from Villia onto White Forest. Fortunately, there are enough units here, right, that we were able to keep this fortification from popping in one turn. Partially that is due to the fact that it's a citadel, so that's really nice. And fortunately, the army in White Forest is, well, the army's not great, right? We have some Cocythiids and some corpse constructs. Cocythiids? Not Cocythiids, Kidnids. But that's pretty much it. But we have a better mage core here than we do in Hallwoods. So what are we doing this turn? I have a gambit that I've been storing up gems for this for a while now. I say a while now, the last couple turns. So I have a gambit that I think we're gonna try, but I'm not gonna do it this turn because I don't think it's gonna work if we do it this turn. And if we lose Hallwoods, right, we don't immediately lose the game. We'll have another turn to lose White Forest. So, my plan is to hold off. We're doing very little ritual casting and no forging this turn. And we're just going to try to defend Hallwoods as best we can. So, in order to defend Hallwoods, we have a two-pronged kind of idea. And that is we are going to be sending in, again, a whole bunch of vampire lords and liches and things like that, and I'm expecting that we lose this. Of course, obviously, just on, I think we're sending in like 18 or 19, right? So just on his own, he has 28 vampires and liches. So we'd lose just matching up against that. But what we're trying to do, again, isn't win, it's put a dent into what he has and use up his gems, right? Like, keep making it annoying for him, and hopefully we'll have a good opportunity to win the actual fortification battle. So inside the fortification, we don't have much. We have Nazar II, we have our Apkalu, and then we have a little bit of a force. The other thing that we're doing is we are, and again, we're kind of grasping at straws because we only have so many air gems. We are doing 6 cloud trapezes of air gurus going into Hallwoods, and they're all set basically to do the mist form, summon air elemental spam. And the hope there is that if most of them get it through and we are able to slightly weaken the army with our big bundle of immortals, realistically what I'm hoping to do is just make it to where we barely win, right? Just that we don't, not that there's this resounding success against Lanka, but just that we hold on to Hallwoods for one more turn. Because again, I think we're going to pull the trigger on the next turn for what our gambit is. And I'm not going to talk about what it is yet, because that's going to be the main focus of the next turn. So we'll save it for that. But yeah, other than that, there's not really a lot going on. We are moving a vampire around, just kind of counter-raiding. We're moving these Ishibs into and that is pretty much it, truth be told. So, I think that is going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.